You don't know this song?
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Lena.
No.
Shame on you. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is it. Like, this is the song. Like, back when I went to college.
Oh, okay. So I would have been.
Was that what?
A young
30
adult?
years ago?
Would have been young adulting then.
Listen, I feel really good right now with this group of people.
You
I feel young.
Yeah, I bet you do.
My Botox is looking pretty fresh. Hanging out with these 35-year-olds.
You do what you got to do to keep up with us.
Today's gonna be a fun episode. I like when people come to us.
Oh, I know.
Because like
Seeing
we can
them in
get more
person.
interaction
Yes.
here.
The visual banter is well worth.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
all
I
of
just
everything.
look at his body language right now.
Yeah, it's very closed off, shutting
I
the door. Yep. Oh, there we go. Whoa, he's loosening up.
He is
starting to feel
He's
the
ready to
vibe.
go.
Yep.
He's ready to go. Well, okay. Well, let's get started. If you've never listened, this is a episode of Coaching Caffeine and Comedy. I'm your host, Hayley Kobza.
And I'm Lena.
I need to spit my gum out.
That would be nice.
I'm sorry. Don't judge me.
I watched that.
Oh, geez.
I'm sorry.
Here we
sorry,
go.
I'm just going to put that away.
Classing it up every time.
So one thing I wanted to throw out here, one, congrats to you and your team for winning women's non-competitive league, which I don't know if you read the rules.
Okay.
If you win the non-competitive league, you now have to move up.
You know, I feel like that, like, you have to win multiple times.
No. It's only once. I read the rules.
Whatever. That's garbage.
And
That's fine. You know what? We'll bring it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll bring competitive down in more ways than one. It's not going to be pretty, but that's fine. I'm glad you are willing to recognize a winning team. I'm glad you're willing to step off your box and say, job well done. Your team did it. Mine did not.
I have never competed in women's sports, so I'm out on this.
this is.
conversation.
We had these teams that were sponsored, and so she had one and I had the other. She doesn't like to win. She just likes to have fun. And
It's weird that we did win. So that's so
right.
interesting.
And we didn't. And it was rough. It was really rough.
I am definitely not that person. I do not play for second.
Yeah, me either.
Ever.
It must be a family thing.
It's tough.
You guys make a lot of enemies along the way.
I was playing memory with Trip yesterday.
Oh, go.
Even with my 5-year-old.
Play with Celia sometime.
Yeah.
It's like Rain Man. She
rough.
has 36 and I get like 2. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I
You
get a flip over
and
6.
You let her do that probably.
No. When it comes, because she's competitive. So
Yeah.
she deserves to be beat. My other 2, it's like, let's just play a game to have fun. But Celia's always out for blood. I was like, no, you deserve to lose. But when it's memory, Rain Man sets in and she just wipes the board clean.
Also, speaking of kids, funny, yesterday.
Okay.
So Clay was gone. So like I'm making the meals and I'm also really kind of lazy when Clay's gone. So I'm not lazy. I'm cleaning the house and putting things back together. But I'm like, all right, do you guys want this for supper or do you want smoothies? And they're like, oh yeah, definitely smoothies because smoothies are healthy and they're fun.
They
So
always think that. But
They think that. So I made a blueberry strawberry smoothie with yogurt and milk and whatnot. Well, Letty, they drink their smoothies and all of a sudden she's in the bathroom. She's like, Mom. And I'm like, yeah. And I go running in there. She's like, oh, I drank too much of that smoothie.
Oh no. Bad stomach.
Bad tummy.
That's not good.
Bad tummy.
Yeah, that happens.
Maybe too much. TMI.
No, it's fine.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
does a little.
we usually eat beef for every dinner, but here we are.
No. Saturday when Dad's gone.
Yeah.
okay.
What else?
Well, I mean, I had to manage Easter for you.
Oh, yes.
Thank
you.
Sweet mother of pearl. Anyone who feels the need to stuff 1,000 Easter eggs needs a tranquilizer because especially when they're not the one who's hiding them. Oh. There was a point Jake's like, mother, truck it. I'm dumping 500 in one spot. It's fine. And I was like, this is DAM and
hiding
ridiculous.
eggs is so much fun. That's why I just thought you guys would have fun. I mean, I didn't do it this year, but in previous years.
I bet in previous years there's been less than 50 eggs.
Well, I just didn't want anybody to be left out.
Okay, no, the town of Culbertson would have been just fine. And half of McCook. We had that many eggs. Sweet mother.
Lena hosted Easter for my volleyball players and then my 2 children and her children and my in-laws. I wasn't there. So I was trying to help her out.
Yeah.
Did you ever hide Easter eggs?
Not on purpose.
Oh, okay. Golden nugget drop somewhere.
Something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let's get started.
Let's do this.
So today in studio, like here in front of us live, we have the famous, no, take it back.
No, let's take that back.
Yeah.
No, we
Just
can't go there.
Matt,
That's
Matt.
a long time ago.
Is it Matthew or is it Matt?
Well, it could be.
It could be. Like, what was on your birth certificate?
Matthew.
Okay, Matthew. Why are you checking? Don't do that. I feel like you're...
No one's visual here.
We're establishing the barriers in the room.
The pecking order. Here we go.
Matthew Matt Lowery.
Matt Lowery.
Like Lowery seasoning.
Oh, we don't go there.
Well, it's not
We
spelled
don't
the
even
same.
use it. No.
No? What do you use?
Oh, I can't tell you everything.
Well, I'm just curious. Is this a trademark issue that we're going to have? Or?
Well, it might be.
Well, I'm just curious to know what kind of seasoning you use.
There's stuff that's made in Omaha, Nebraska. It's called Rent-A-Chef. It is the greatest
Sorry,
stuff.
did you say rent a chef?
Rent-A-Chef.
So you don't...
It would take you to the whole next level.
Wow.
Interesting.
This is interesting.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
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 I'm going to be looking this up.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Because for me, I'm like, does he bring a
Matt
chef
said
into his
so.
house?
I don't know what's happening there, but it's okay.
But
we're not
anyways,
judging.
Yeah, so
Okay,
Matt, he's from Burwell, Nebraska, and he has a hobby that I think pays all the bills. And so he's an auctioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a good way to put it?
You know, it's almost turned into a job
It's
now.
I mean, it takes up
you know.
quite a bit of your time.
I mean, you kind of drive around, run your mouth, and then go to the next one. So, yeah.
This is great. I'm glad that you're here with us.
I feel like we kind of do that. I mean, we don't really get paid a whole lot, but we do run our mouths.
Yeah. But we look for people that, have these hobbies that, have good income. And if you ever want to sponsor.
Oh, yes. The
I
voice
see where
of
this is
Lowery.
going.
Yes, this is why we brought you here.
Yep. Let's do it.
Since the seasoning salt thing didn't work.
Yeah, so the Lowery thing. All right, so we do a warm up, and I will put 25 seconds on, okay? And I'm going to tell you what you have to do, and then you have 25 seconds to get it done.
Moses.
Okay? Yes? Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
that was
I am ready.
All right,
Oh, here
I'm
we
going to
go.
start it. So give me 15 breeds of cattle. Go.
Angus, Hereford, Simmental, Charolais, Pinzagar, Brahma, Maine-Anjou, Chianina, Shorthorn,
You're at 9.
Fleckvieh, Simmental,
10.
Piedmontese, Red Angus,
Okay.
Limousine.
Oh, that was close.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was close.
I felt like majority of those were made up.
I feel like
I've never
some
heard
of those
most
I
of those.
hadn't heard.
I missed two.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
No,
That wasn't bad at all.
it could be better.
It could be better.
I hate getting second.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. That, how we do that, like every one that you didn't get out of that 15, you'll just Venmo us.
Oh, yes.
okay.
So
Very
it's
nice.
Yep. I don't know what we're going to charge for every one.
$1
maybe,
American dollar.
probably
It's gotta be
50
more.
for
Yeah,
every,
there we go.
for everyone.
Okay.
So
It's got to be a little
like
more than that.
150.
Send the bill to West Walker Road, North Platte, Nebraska.
Oh, I know who lives there. It's my family. It's my dad.
Yeah, well, he'll pick up the tab. That's fine.
So Matt, there's all sorts of different auctioneers. What do you sell? Because I know, right?
So to start out, I mean, and I went to auction school just like every.
Okay. Did you go to Iowa?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so fun fact, take this back. So there's this auctioneer school in Iowa. I've learned about this my whole life because my dad supposedly had to put down payments for my brothers to go and they never went.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and so my dad's always like, I wonder if we can still use that money.
Yeah.
Probably.
Just
30
save it for
years
trip.
later. Yeah.
Yep.
And knowing him, he'd probably ask for interest. But but when I went to auction school, and I was just like everybody else, you go to auction school. I mean, you have dreams of visions, and and I'm, here I
What
am.
year
and
did you go? Sorry.
Yeah. How old were you?
I think it was 19 years old. I think I was.
Wow.
Okay, so you didn't go to college.
Yeah, I went to Wyoming for a year.
Okay.
To Torrington. And then I came back and it's like, school's not for me.
Sure.
It's great, but it's for some people, it wasn't for me.
Right. Okay.
But
Sorry.
I went to auction school and then I think it was in the fall of 1996.
so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're the same age.
Okay.
Yeah, we're close. Yep. And then after that, I kind of got out and I just refused to quit. And the one thing is hard. This is the hardest business to get into, especially in the livestock side of it, because there's so many of them everywhere and everybody wants to sell. And so then,
Okay, wait. Why is it hard? Like, explain that a little bit more. Why is it hard to get into? There's so many what?
Because, okay, so look at it like this, livestock markets, how many livestock markets are around? There's a town that's got one, and then you might go 50 miles and you might find another one.
Okay.
And you might go find another one. But the part about it is every town's got 3 auctioneers.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I needed. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So somebody's going to make it and somebody's going to not.
Got it.
But I just basically refused to quit, and I just put in the work, and I absolutely would not quit. I knew I had it in me. I knew I had to tweak. I knew I had to do some stuff, and I had to put in the work, but that was the only thing I ever knew. So that's what I was going to do.
So when you said refused to quit, were you doing like auctions, like selling boxes of trinkets, or like were you just trying to go?
I didn't care what it was. I mean, it was just endless hours of practice. 5, 6, 7 hours of practice. And then I think it was about 98 or 99, I got a job at an auction house, and he was paying me $10 an hour, which I absolutely, I was like, hey, it's selling. I don't care.
Right.
And
Can I ask where that was?
It was in Grand Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in Grand Island.
So then you were traveling there.
Yeah, every Tuesday I would go there, and I would show up like at 1 o'clock, and I would go outside and sell all the box lots, and I would sell for hours and hours and hours and hours. But that's what it was. I mean, that was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself.
But how long was auctioneer school?
Auctioneer school is only a week.
What?
Yeah. I've actually taught, I taught auction school for 15 years. So it's a fun.
You know what? We need an auctioneer school at Mid-Plains.
That's not a bad idea.
Put it somewhere else.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a real thing. And the thing is it's a really easy trade to learn if you're taught the right things to begin with.
When
this is so interesting.
I was telling Matt before this, my roommate in college, one of my very best friends in college, he was at like the first parts of auctioneer school. So like he practiced all the time. And for me, I was okay with it. Like I've grown up around it. Right. My dad owned a sale barn. I just thought it was so funny, like how much he'd practice, and he'd practice selling anything. Like he'd sell the dog, the couch, whatever he could see in front of him. But then after he started, I'm like, there's no women auctioneers. I'm like, I should have redone my life differently.
Yeah.
But I'm too old for that now.
Actually, to tell you the truth, there's a lot of them.
Not in the Southwest Nebraska area. There's one. She lives in Maywood.
Very true.
Oh, really?
Very true.
Huh.
Yep.
But when you get into the benefit side, when and especially in larger populated areas, women have a tremendous amount of popularity as far as being in the auction business and benefits and fundraiser type auctions because they resonate with certain groups of people or those types of things. And it's very lucrative. I mean, it is easy to.
Is there a lot of women in the cattle industry? Or like,
not really.
Not really. They do more of the other stuff.
And I'm not trying to. Not trying to. Say one is more than the other. It's just more of a male-dominated industry.
What percentage of auctioneers are self-employed compared to being employed by someone? Like, are you self-employed?
I'm self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Matt, he does like special auctions. So like people hire him, like you do bull auctions, you do all sorts of them.
Most everything I do now is all within the registered side of the cattle industry. So not taken away from livestock markets or anything, but the pay scale is completely different on selling the registered side.
So when you see those like signs, it's like
right.
Coble Bull Sale.
Yep.
Are you going to make it over there? Yeah, the Coble Bull Sale.
Yep.
He is the one that's selling that. But along with that, then you still sell at Burwell too sometimes?
No, actually, I don't. I will sell in Bassett and I will sell in Valentine. This last Wednesday I was in Bassett and stuff. I will sell in Valentine every once in a while, but pretty much anymore, I just it's gotten so busy, and this side of the business has gotten so big. So in order for me to service my customers right, it's easier for me to just stay with that side of the industry.
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay, so I have so many questions. So then on top of this, you're semi-good at your job.
A little bit.
Clearly. So like you have these national championships. Explain this to me. So you go and you have like the world championship
auctioneering contest?
Yeah. So how many, you said there's like the car one, there's like different sections.
Yep. And so there's the IAC, which is basically personal property, real estate. Anyone in the world can enter that contest, but it's a little bit different type of a contest. It would be a similar setting as, say, state auctioneer contest, where you're just judged and it doesn't matter what you sell. And then you go into the auto industry, and there's world champion car auctioneers such as Cody Shelley. And then we go into the livestock side of it, and there's the world champion livestock auctioneer contest. And there's also a contest in Canada.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. For some reason, I thought it was like one whole week and it was all of those at one place, but no.
No, they all move around from different parts of the United States.
Okay.
So when you go to Canada, there's the international contest, and so the international contest, which is open to the world, there'll be guys from Australia there, and I
could listen to them sell some
going to
things.
say the same thing. No offense, Matt. But.
Well, yeah, but their style of selling is completely different. They've changed it a lot, but most Australian auctioneers don't sound like auctioneers in the United States. It's a little bit different, and a lot of them have come over here and tried to learn the trade, trying to perfect it. But it's a different deal. But when you go into the livestock deal, there's known as such as the Triple Crown, which is the Greater Midwest, the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, and then the international contest, which is in Canada. And to win all of those three it puts you in a little bit different league.
Do you know anybody that's done that? Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Paul Bear was one of them. Okay. Bruce Brock, I believe. Mike Baxter was one of them. I was one of them.
What?
There was several people.
He lists himself way down the line. That's so humble and sweet.
So Matt,
but the thing is there's so many good guys in this industry.
That's
right?
incredible.
That probably don't. Do they all like enter? Like what's like?
And how many times do you do that? Do you do that like once and like once
you can win at one time?
Okay. So then once you win it, then you
don't do it.
Because it's always viewed as once a champion, always a champion.
So you're a triple crown auctioneer champion. Mm-hmm. So how do you prepare for that?
A lot of it's mental.
And like, do you sell, like, what do you sell when you go? Is it like a pen of cattle? Is it just like 5 minutes worth?
It's no different than going to your local livestock market.
And it's live, right?
It's live.
Yeah.
Cattle come in and out. The only difference is they change auctioneers every 7 to 10 drafts. Okay. So you're judged on speed, clarity, rhythm, would I hire this auctioneer? And then when you go into the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, there's an interview portion of it. And because the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, as a world champion livestock auctioneer, they want a representative for the industry. They want a spokesman for the industry. And so the interview process is very, very, very important because it's knowledge industry.
I was going to ask that. I was going to ask how.
So it's like a queen, like a rodeo queen judging.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, in its own regard.
Literally, it's kind of a beauty contest.
Yeah. I know you didn't win those points.
Absolutely not.
Miss Congeniality didn't come for you.
Absolutely not.
What are you guys hacking and coughing?
Oh God,
Lanta.
Stuffed in the air.
Yikes!
It must be you.
I am perfectly fine over here.
Super spreader.
Yes.
It's probably everyone can smell my body booze from Wild Ass Soap.
Here we go. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I just have how this whole process works.
Okay, but are people actually bidding?
Yeah, so it's like live. It's like
live.
a live auction.
It's a real. So they're actually buying something.
Yeah,
they're not like playing a part.
In all of these contests, everything is live. It's real money.
Okay, so when you said live, I just didn't. Okay, that's incredible.
So like when you're doing this, like I'm just thinking, like if I was there just for watching, because people probably go to watch this, right?
Oh yeah, it's a huge event.
Yeah, do they cheer? Do they do anything? Like maybe, I don't know. Like I just like if somebody did something really good, I'd be like, hell yeah.
It's not like it's a sporting.
Right.
It's not like it's a sporting event.
Because it's live.
People still understand, and especially the people that go there understand business still goes on. I mean, this is whether you show up to buy cattle or whatever you do, it's still business as usual.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
that's so interesting.
Messengers, they go to this every year. They go to the one in the U.S. I think last year it was somewhere. But like they go Athena goes. Okay, yeah. So Athena, like, cause then she dresses up. And if you know my friend Athena, she's
anyway,
country gal. Yep. And so she dresses up and they go to this and they buy cattle there. And she's like, it's the best. I've never been. I'm like, that would be so much fun to go to.
So when you won, where was it at?
It was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Okay.
Big town. I know people that live there.
Yeah. And it was at Sioux Falls Regional Stockyards, which was nice because it was close to home. And in one thing about that is I won't say that I had an unfair advantage, but the fact is the people you're selling to,
Mm-hmm.
and
hometown, home court advantage.
In a little bit of it was just for the fact is that you're doing business with people and that or if you're selling in Virginia or you're in California or you're in Texas, I mean, you have no idea who the order buyers are. I mean, I can watch cattle come in and look over and go, yeah, Jerry's going to go. Mm-hmm. You just know it. I mean, so there's some neat parts to that.
So in the next 30 days, where all do you travel? Where all will you be going?
Gosh.
Right now, I'm headed to Pritchett, Colorado. My sales season is really starting to dwindle down. I think I have my last one the 4th of May. It was supposed to be in Utah, but they moved it, and it's going to be a remote deal, and it's going to be sold in Yuma, Colorado.
So when I asked him to be on this like 2 months ago, you're like, listen, Hayley, I don't have maybe two free days in the next 90 days or something.
Okay, so what's like your busiest month? Like explain that for because I would have no concept of how busy.
So like the month of February and the month of March, I have 2 open days. Pick one.
Literally.
So they're picking their sale based on.
Right. I mean, I have 2 days that I don't have an auction in February and March. And I probably got 15 sales in January and at least 15 days in March. So I've got this sales season, I had 99 bull sales.
Okay, so asking for a friend, because clearly you use your voice a lot. Yes. Like, how do you do to keep that voice going? Because I know somebody.
Stop looking at me.
It's always has issues. Yep. Do you take a good probiotic? Do you do lozenges? Drink coffee and whiskey?
Maybe down the road, massage his throat. What do we got going?
Alcohol will mess with your voice worse than anything in the world.
Oh, I don't drink. So
good to know.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
really?
Yeah.
So it's not like if you drink a little bit, then like your nerves are like better and maybe speak faster. Because I run faster.
Let's just say you go out to the bar and you're out all night, and the next morning it sounds like you smoked a carton of Camel Reds.
Well, that's what Lena always sounds like. So
exactly. So well, maybe she's smoking. I mean, we don't know this.
Surely none of your business what I do outside
but
the studio. Watch it.
When you're on the road, you try to eat right. No convenience store food. No fast food. I will always just take the extra 10, 15 minutes and pull in and sit down.
This is like deja vu of another guest of something that I thought was so profound. Yeah.
Right. Because
you guys should meet each other.
They should actually. But anyway, keep going.
But you're on the road all the time. And I'm not, no joke though, I get to this time of the year, I have had my yearly allotment of roast beef and brisket sandwiches. I mean, we have.
Those are the queen.
I know, but they kind of hit it's like Groundhog Day. It's kind of every day.
That's right.
And the thing about it is not one sale have I got a bad meal. I mean, they're all good. That part of it, it's just the same thing every day. And it's, after, you hit about the 10th of April and it's like, you got any peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or something back there,
Just give me some cold cuts, call it a day.
Yeah. Hey, don't laugh. Most of the time I'll just go into a grocery store and just get some ham and cheese or deal fruit and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible because he is fairly fit.
Yeah.
Like when you think of life on the road.
Yeah. I don't know.
The other guy that's here.
Yeah.
He looks good. But I mean, like that's, I don't think people really, because you have to go on the road, like how disruptive that is to lifestyle. But when you kind of get in a routine of it, that's a different thing. But yeah, that's a hard. It takes on the road.
It takes a while. It does. It takes a while after. So I'm a little bit different than some of these people that are in the business. Some of these guys can get away with, just being their sale day. But I try to be a better service to my customers. So I always go to the place. We go through the cattle. We go through the cow herd. We go through this and we discuss business. So it's not 99 bull sales. It's 198 visits that I'm going to their place in some way. And herd visits are easier because I can get 2 to 3 a day and but I mean, I've got customers in North Dakota. I got customers in Oklahoma. I had one about 2 inches from North Carolina. We go to Utah. I mean, we go all over.
Wow.
So one of the biggest things, I don't know, maybe this is rude to even talk about, but like auctioneers, they get percentages off of, like, that's how they get paid. It's not right. Mm-hmm. It's not like, Matt, we're going to hire you for $1,000 to speak for us for 120 minutes. It's a percentage.
A percentage of
What they
total
sell.
sold?
Total
Or
s-
what
yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So like,
Oh,
then, so
okay.
then it's, you know, kind of like what we've talked about before, like, cause then that's like on him. Like
Yeah,
the better
yeah.
he does, the better he's
Right.
going to get paid. We've
little
we've
skin
kind
in
of
the
talked
game.
about this. I
So
mean, pretty
it-
much the same thing, but
You know,
Comedy show.
iron sharpens iron. The better I do my job, the better you get paid, and the better
Yeah.
you get paid, the better
better-
I get paid, and we all leave happy.
yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Have you ever pissed anybody off?
What day of the week is it?
Have you ever like,
and you're related
have you
to
ever
Hayley,
been,
so
yeah.
I feel like
Let's say,
yeah.
this is the first day of this week, so no, not yet.
Not, yeah. Wait, you consider Sunday? That's a good.
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
good. Cause that's one of my biggest things. If you consider Monday the first day of the week,
Oh, the energy level changes. Yep. Let's start on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yep.
So you're gone a lot. You also have 5 acres and a house, right?
Something like
Something like that. Who
Yeah,
takes
I
care
got
of that?
I got 5 acres of lawn,
Does-
and then all the rest of it goes around.
Yeah. So does your rent a chef? Do they like
Yeah.
keep track of everything?
You know, every once in a while, I just drive out of the yard and I say, "May God be with you." You know,
Because like in my family, nobody leaves because it's like, who's gonna feed everything? Who's gonna watch the? You have a dog.
no, Stanley lives at Mom's.
Oh, I thought.
Okay, so
Stanley
yeah.
is what? It's a French
French
bulldog.
bulldog. He's a blue merle.
Oh God, those are the cutest things in the universe.
Cutest little thing.
But
He
does he
is-
snore a lot though?
No, he farts a lot.
Oh, equally not as impressive.
So cute though.
This is a bad story. We went 100 miles here the other day, and I mean it was like death by Stanley at least 15 times.
Roll the windows down.
Oh, Stanley, what did you eat?
So does your mom take care of everything?
Mom kind of is there, so
Yeah.
I've kind of streamlined it. So I calve cows in May and June, so I'm actually there when we're calving, and so we'll run over everything over his yearlings. And I've got a guy that he'll winter the calves for me, and then the cows go to down by between York and Lincoln, and they're on cover crops, so they're grazing. And then when the cows come home, we leave just a portion of the ranch open, and we just turn them out in the hills and let them graze. And so
Gotcha.
that's why I say, "May God be with you." You know, at times.
Especially now with all the.
No, but I've got a cousin that doesn't live very far away, and a good guy, and he takes care of stuff. If
Must be on the other side.
Yeah,
family.
yeah. You're not related.
Yeah.
And
he hasn't gotten that desperate yet.
Yeah. Nope.
Call Hayley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I half the time I can't even get Dewey to call me back. So what's the difference?
You know what? When I get my dad on the phone, I mean, if you've ever listened to the episode with him, he won't speak, or he'll be like done with the conversation, be like, "All right, love you, bye."
Gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go. Hang up.
See,
Yeah,
my dad
and it's
doesn't
like
even
you're
say, "Love
still
you,
like
bye."
mid conversation.
Yeah,
You're
and
like,
he just hangs
"Hey,
up. Yeah.
Dad."
What? I don't understand what happened to them.
Yeah,
No,
as children.
it's got to be that age generation, because I deal with the same thing at my house, because I'm sitting here having a conversation, mid-conversation, and all of a sudden, click. And I'm like, "Mom, hello,
It can't
hello."
be us.
It has
It's
to
not
be
us.
them.
It's them.
Yeah.
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 And I'll tell you, with Clay and my dad being so close to each other now, the way that they speak to each other, I'm like concerned for Clay, but Clay has no care in the world. So
Yeah, that's Jake and my dad. And now Jake will try and hang up on my dad first just because he's like, you know what? He needs to know what this feels like.
you're probably the same way
Yeah,
with my dad.
a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I won't ever call him by his first name still. It still scares me.
I do every now and then. Got a little Celia.
Have any good stories about my dad?
Not really.
No, nothing.
Probably nothing that should be told to the
That's
public.
probably a
Oh,
good
that's-
point.
there we go.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
I think that's the one thing that you talked about that so many people who have normal day jobs don't realize, like when they want to take their, 2-week vacation or whatever, we raised hogs. We had 12,000 head of hogs growing up, and we never went on a family vacation. My dad, especially in the summer, it's like, you don't leave hogs in the summer. And most people who aren't in agriculture don't realize that you just don't get to pick them and go whenever you want. And that's something that's
You don't
a
just get to
foreign.
take the dogs to
Yeah,
the
you
borders.
yes, you just don't just get to take off.
See, and that's another thing about this auction industry. So to understand this, when you're hired, especially in the registered side of it, when you're in the livestock market, it's a little bit different. Most of them staff 2 or 3 different auctioneers. If we got to change out one day, it's not a big deal. But when you get on the registered side, you are hired because it is you. And if you say, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't do it this year. We're going to go on vacation," you're
yeah.
done. You're fired.
Right.
You're fired. There's no playing. And I've sold just short of 6,000 sales, and there's only one time I've canceled because I was sick. One time.
That's impressive.
What is the year span on that? Like how many years are we talking?
About 25.
You called in sick once?
Once.
Oh,
Listen up, athletes.
Hello, new generation.
Listen up,
Yes.
athletes. Y'all need to pick it up. I have no sympathy for people that are sick, but I'm like,
You know, my dad worked at a meat packing plant for 16 years and he never missed a day of work. And I was like, what?
yeah.
You know, I mean,
I don't know.
I was dealing with this.
There's a bottle of apple cider vinegar in my console.
You know what? I've tried to do that. You can do that?
I can gargle with it and drink it.
That's what I do.
God.
I gargle with it. That's what I've been doing.
What?
But it's not.
But if you gargle with it, it just it
My
changes
mouth is
the-
already like, what?
Nope. My girls have accidentally grabbed my glass and tried to drink out of it.
I've tried to do the gummies.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
gummy.
Just don't do it on an
have
empty
you
stomach.
seen the Bragg apple cider vinegar?
Yep.
It's like
That's
grape
what we have.
juice
Yep.
kind of stuff. You can drink it. It's tolerable.
Yep. Come on, pick it up, Nancy.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think you're that sick that much, though.
I'm not, because you don't get sick in my house.
All right. Okay. Well,
Like, this is my family. Like, if you got sick at my house, like, there was no sympathy. Like, or if they were still working, they would just leave you. So you were there to fend for yourself. Besides one time, I got Epstein-Barr virus, which is another
Never even heard of
it's a
such
strain of mono. And my parents
Is that a Schaefer thing?
probably. Let's be real. I've never
it's
heard of
not.
it.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
so my
made up-
parents still had to work, so they didn't want to leave me alone to sleep with my bed sores. So they brought my grandma down to fend for me.
Oh.
And she forced me to drink this soup that she made that would cure all, and it was horrible. And I'd have it for every meal.
My grandma had
And
to
my
take care of me
grandma
once,
is
too.
sassy. It was Lois,
Yeah.
Grandma Schaefer.
Oh, Lois.
And like, she'd get me up out of bed. She's like, "You're not going to get any better laying there thinking about it." And I'm like,
Jeez.
I can barely wake up.
See, that was my mom. I mean, you could have chopped off half of your arm, and she said, "Well, the other one still works." And here we go. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't care.
Yeah.
they
I
did.
mean,
They were raised different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were always, well, if you're sick, you might as well get up and get to moving around, because you move around, you're going to feel better. And no joke. I mean,
There is
it's
truth in
still
that.
the
It is
truth.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Go take care of your animals. You'll be better by the time
Yeah.
you're done.
That
with
was
your
the one
chores.
thing with COVID, that word. But like,
Oh, yeah.
when I had COVID,
Okay.
I still ran every single day, because I'm like, if I can run, I know I'm going to be okay. And I was so psyched. I was like so afraid. I'm like, this is it.
I didn't have
I'm
it for more
going.
than 24 hours.
Yeah.
So when they first come out, when they started doing the whole COVID deal or whatever they were talking about, no one, of course, no one in North Central Nebraska has any idea what it is. It's like, coronavirus. Oh, that's a cattle vaccine. It's like, oh, no big deal. I sold sales every day with it and had no idea, but I knew that one day, and I happened to have an open day in February, and I actually laid in bed all day, and I was doing everything I possibly could. Even took dexamethasone.
That was the thing. Everyone was
yeah.
saying to take
Yes.
Dex. Yeah.
Oh, I do. I got a bottle of that too.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to see you take a big swig of apple cider
When
vinegar.
he's 120, we can have him back on the
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, not a joke.
So you were a teacher. Oh gosh. Here we
Really?
go. So you taught in the auctioneer school. Is there anybody that you're like, this student of yours like really went above and beyond, and like, you probably had multiple, but like, who's somebody that today that you're like, he's worked hard at it and he's,
there's multiples. As far as like a proud father moment.
yes, proud father moment. That's what I want.
So the men's IAC champion was Jarek Miller, and he comes from an auction.
Well, okay. Sorry. IAC.
Which is the International
International,
Auctioneers
okay.
Competition.
Continue.
Okay, so Jarek Miller,
I'm just
he
taking
was I had him in auction school.
Jarek Miller.
Yep.
Where's he from?
He is from Iowa,
Okay.
and he was actually the men's IAC champion, and this year the Chantel Kimball, which was the women's IAC champion, and Jarek went through auction school, and he had it. I mean, he had it. And Chantel also comes from an auction family and incredibly talented. And in fact, the end of this month, the Nebraska Auctioneers Association is asking her to come and speak. And I haven't seen her in years, so it'll
cool.
be a fun deal. And then speed up the world champion, this year's reigning world champion livestock auctioneer, which is Will Epperly, who is in Dunlap, Iowa. But when I met him, he was from Manita, Virginia. And I met him back in 2008 when I won the World. Livestock Marketing Association takes you and they fly you all over the United States. So you go to all of these host markets. And so that's where I met him. And his dad had part of the ownership in that livestock market. And anyway, so we talked, and Will came out and he lived with me for 30, 45 days. So when he was young, he was about 18 or 19. And it was just back and forth. Like you were talking about what Cody Shelley was doing.
Yeah.
It was the same thing, you know, just over and over and repetition over and over and over. And hey, what do you think about this? How does this sound? And you can make some neat sounds if you use the right filler words.
Right.
And so that's what the things we were working
Your
on.
practice.
Yeah. And
which
it's
you'll
just,
have to give us.
And it's muscle memory and stuff. But teaching is very simple as long as they use the right tools and keys to make that work. And because different words make different sounds with different numbers, and understanding that. And once you get the roadmap, the rest of it's just simple. It's just repetition.
Are there some people that just don't have the ability, or is it something they just have to be willing not to give up?
Well, I believe that everybody has the ability to do it. Okay. You coach sports. I mean,
Those that don't do coach.
right. But in the very same hand, it's just
Right.
like saying everybody can do this. Just some people are better at it than others, but that doesn't mean that they can't be effective. I mean, some of the most financially wealthy auctioneers I've ever been around maybe do not have the best chant, but they're effective, you know? And so, you know, you might have a kid that can't run, has no coordination whatsoever, but can ding 3-pointers one right after another. So how are you going to argue with that fact?
Right.
Yeah. I see.
So at the auction, I just have so many questions. At the auctioneer competition, they base you on all these things.
Yep.
So is there like a line of 5 judges?
Yeah. And they come from all over the United
And
States.
so they are literally just judging that they can't buy or anything. They're just watching all those things.
they're
And do you know
strictly
who they are? Or are they
No.
just based throughout the crowd? You don't know.
Depends on which contest you're at. Some contests they do, and some contests they don't.
Okay.
But in the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, you do not know. You have a pretty good idea.
Have you ever judged one?
Yeah.
And like, has there ever been somebody that just completely like,
It changes your
Froze?
perspective when you judge one, because as a contestant, we all think about, oh, that guy, he sounds really good. That guy, he really sounds
Right.
good. But when you take everything else that's in consideration, you know, bid catching ability, you know, how did he conduct this sale? What other things that tied into that? And when you throw them all together, it completely changes the outcome on the other end, you know. But every once in a while, there's that guy that is just amazing. I mean, he just dings it. And the one thing that in judging a contest that I've learned is usually the guy that wins is the guy that wants it the worst. And you can tell who sells with heart and soul. There's some fire behind those people, you know.
Now, when you're doing your contest, I know there's other guys that like help see like people bidding.
And not in these. Though.
Okay, that's what I wondered, because I was like, are you solely
in certain contests they do have ringmen or bid spotters.
Sure.
But you know, when you get in the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, it's not.
Okay,
You know?
that's what I wanted to know, because I was like, do you get to pick those? So in the other contests, when you have them, do you pick your own people? Like,
Yeah. So like the World Champion Car Auctioneer Contest, yes, they come with a ringman.
okay, that's what I wanted to know.
And so they travel together, and
Because I was
you
like,
know,
that'd be a lot of trust in something.
we're going to need to get Cody on here.
absolutely.
This is completely different.
Yeah, it's a whole different breed of cat.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, like Steve Friskup.
Yep.
I went to college with his daughter.
Oh,
And
sure.
I just remember when I was because my dad, I feel like he knows like all these people as well. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to school with Kelsey Friskup. And he's like, wait, is that Steve Friskup's daughter? Because that guy sells horse sales.
Yeah, he is. He is the king of horse
Yeah.
sales.
And like this man, like same thing, but the horse sales are like all year round, I feel like. And he does like a really big one in Oklahoma that's like 4 days long.
Yep.
It's, I know. It's a grueling world out there.
And Steve, you know, he is on top of his game as far as the horse sale deal. And it's kind of funny, you get into this business and there's so many young auctioneers that call every day. I mean, I had one this morning, you know, hey, what do you think of this? You know, and they'll send me either a Snapchat or a recorded text message, and I'll send something back and say, hey, try this or try this or try this. But the one thing that so many young auctioneers get frustrated is it, and part of it's a youth thing, but it's not coming fast enough, or it's not, how come they have all the sales? What am I doing, or what am I not doing? And, you know, and I remember sitting in the office in Kansas City at the Livestock Marketing Association, and I was in Mark Mackey's office, who is the CEO of the Livestock Marketing Association. And I said, you know, Mark, I said, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why I didn't win before, because I had a pretty good run there. I mean, I was runner-up twice. I was reserve twice.
And you still went back.
And I still went back, but I didn't understand it until I won it. And then I understood why I didn't win it. It was all these little things, you know, and everybody has a tendency to look at the big picture and go, well, that judge didn't do this or this didn't do this, but it was those little things, you know,
right.
But it was more of a mental thing. I mean, it's a mental game.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
Do you have like any pet peeves with like listening to auctioneers? Like they might do something, you're like, oh, I hate when they do that.
You know, everybody has their different style. It used to bother me a lot more. You know, I'm like, well, he does that, and that drives me nuts, or he does that. And I'm just kind of to the point anymore. It's just kind of like, that's their thing, go on with it. You know, why waste my time and, you know, steal my piece because you do this, you know, let it go.
Still, you better,
good.
yeah,
I should
that's
write
the
that
quote.
down.
Yeah.
What's
the average career length for an auctioneer?
Oh, he's got 50 more years left.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
they
gonna
don't have
live
to
to
do
120.
anything,
Yeah,
just
that's true.
talk.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of guys that selling sales into their 70s,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
even in the 80s. You know,
Well, you have 10 more years till you hit that. So.
yeah. What are you, 4 years younger now?
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's keep going. Yeah. Swish and yeah, nothing but net on that one. Nothing but net. I mean, I could see it could be though a higher burnout too. I mean, with the travel and the constant going, I mean, like what is it hard? Like for those who have a home life, like with families?
We're not created equal.
Oh, okay. Truth. Okay.
There are some people that there are some people that definitely, they have an auction business. They might serve their hometown. They got a real estate license, you know, have 2 or 3 sales a month, and they're happy.
Right.
And they're completely happy about what they do. Some people crave the road.
Got it.
And,
very well said.
And, you know, and especially in the car industry, those guys are on airplanes, they're driving, they're going all the time. Because when you look at, if you were to be a successful car auctioneer, Chicago, Denver, Omaha, Kansas City, Dallas. I mean, these guys are going all the time, and it's a cutthroat business. And I won't say cutthroat because there's a lot of camaraderie. We feel like one big family, but we all want the spot.
Right.
We all want to be the spot.
Saying that though, it's probably very similar to coaching. Like, cause you said, you know, like how does this work with families and stuff? Like either they're in or they're out. Like, I think if you marry an auctioneer, you're going to know, like,
yeah,
that's like one of my pet peeves with coaching is like you know who you are marrying, you know what it entails.
Right.
So like when it's season and like your spouse is gone, why are you throwing, like, you don't think a coach already has enough on their plate anyways?
Right.
Like, I don't know. This is my,
I know
soapbox
that
now.
My junior high coaching schedule's intense.
And I know Jake's probably like, this isn't going to work.
No, I can't do this on my own. Your games are at 2 and they're over by 4 and you're home by 4:30.
Yeah. And you only have one away game. Can't do it.
Yeah. And that's a part of the industry.
It is. Yeah.
That's a little bit ugly because that person that is at home has
Tending
to
for
be
the
a really special person to understand what it's like to not see your spouse for 90 days or 60 days, or we're going to come through, hey, I'm going to stop at the house. I'm going to dump clothes out of this suitcase and I'm going to grab the next suitcase and I'm gone. We'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know, that is not for everyone. And I don't blame them either. You know, it's just not 100% user friendly for everyone. And I completely respect that.
Wow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you what though, when Clay's gone, I'm like, shit is getting done in this house. Not that it doesn't when he's there, but
I'm the opposite.
No?
Like, when Jake comes around, I was like, oh crap, I got to look busy. So I go and do something.
Oh my gosh,
When he's
Clay's
I was
gone.
like,
He'll come
"See
back
ya."
and I'm like, I painted this room and I painted this room. And then I hired some guy to come put in this new fancy toilet. And
yeah,
you know,
nope. I'm like,
See, I hear the other side of that.
from Clay.
probably.
I'm not revealing my sources.
Okay. Okay. That's what I thought.
No. Here's me. I'm like, girls, you want to play a game?
Oh gosh.
And
Not
let's
me.
read a book and just say it's quality time. So when your dad gets home, we look like we're bonding. And then don't worry about the stuff that didn't get done. It's all about family first. Oh.
Jeez. Who is an auctioneer that you look up to?
You know, there's not just one. A guy that I have a huge amount of respect for was the guy that owned the auction school. Paul Bear was also a Triple Crown winner, but he's the king of all auctioneers in my eyes. In my opinion, he also won the World Car Auctioneer Contest.
Oh, he won both.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. and Paul owned the auction school for a long time. But you know, there are people out there that when you're around, you just know they make you better. They make you better people. They motivate.
Today is a big day for you, buddy.
Yep. We'll get you a t-shirt.
I will pull back all my comments. But Paul is one of these people that he motivates you to be a better person, but it doesn't matter who you are. I can't honestly think outside of the box other than whether you use God, but I can't think of all the people that I've ever met that what I would say that hasn't touched somebody more than Paul. I mean, Paul has a way with people of just bringing out something so good in people, and he has a knack for it, and he's a wonderful person, and he's a great auctioneer and a talented man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's cool. I like it.
Don't you want somebody to be able to say that about you? Like that you make people around you better?
It's not going to be today, but maybe later.
That was not Matt.
Put together.
Matthew. That was not funny.
It's not nice.
No, so good.
Nice.
Okay, when do we get to hear a little? I mean, I feel like the listeners are going to want.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Can you like
Do your
throw a
hibbity-dibbity.
chant or
Okay,
something?
I'm gonna slow before we do
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Maybe like, how do you start? Like, what's like the first basics? Like,
yeah.
can we do
Okay,
that?
okay. So we're
So like, if you're teaching me, I'm not going to do it, but
yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Lena can.
Okay.
No, you are.
Yeah, exactly. Go,
Okay.
cousin.
You would be the chosen child because your brothers didn't go to auction school.
Yes. And you need to use your dad's money.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's still there.
Okay, so the easiest way to learn this is understand this. This is just counting, and
This is where I have issues.
That's true.
I'm fine though.
I've been blamed for that by your father.
Wait a second. Something's not adding up, Matt. I need to look at these numbers.
I know. What's he doing? He's looking for something.
No,
Okay,
he's
I'm
getting
ready.
ready. He's
Okay, so this is $1. This chair is $2, $3, $4. So $1, $2, $3, $4.
$1, $2, $3, $4.
Okay. $1, $2, $3, $4. Now imagine there's the word now in between each chair. $1 now, $2 now, $3 now, $4.
Oh,
He's,
wow.
like, singing.
I know this
Okay.
is like music.
Yeah.
This is good. Go.
I don't want to do that.
You
Yes,
have
you
to.
do.
Come on.
Don't look at me.
Okay.
Sorry. $1 now, $2 now, $3 now, $4. Lena, zip it.
I didn't say anything. I'm not even. Don't look at me then.
And as it speeds up,
Yeah.
$1 down, $2 down, $3 down, $4 down, $5 down, $6 down, $7, $8, $9 down, $10 down, $12, $15 down, $15 to fire.
Wow, what just happened?
So
Go ahead, Hayley.
No, that was so like that's how you start. And now I'm going to practice this the whole time in my car on the way home, so it sounds better
This
next
is
time.
way worse than any song that catches in your head.
Yeah,
Way worse.
Yeah, no,
but
'cause-
you won't admit it to the public, though.
Well, I know that's what I lived with somebody like this.
Yeah.
It was, and then we traveled together.
Oh, gall.
He
talking to your
lived
roommate?
in our house, my house. Yeah, I mean it was all the time, but I was okay with it.
But you can only do what you just did. I mean, I feel like with all those years of having it hum in the back of your
I know,
mind,
but I was
you
just
would have
like,
been able to bring
yeah,
a little
good
more.
job.
And stop practicing.
But that's
it.
just a basic chant, and that's what I teach in auction school. And just like you did,
So do you put now between every time?
Now,
Like
$1.
even when you're selling now?
Now $2, and now $1,500 down $2. Now $2, and now $200 down $2,500.
Is there
down
another
$3,
word
down
for
$3,
now
down
that
$3,
you
down.
could use?
Here, there, where? $1,500 here, now $2,000, now $2,500 here, down $3,000 here, down $3,500 down $4. Like $100 now, $100 now, $100 down $2. Now $200 down, $300 down, $400 down $5.
So do you, like people go by different increments?
Yep.
So like, how do you know which increment to go off of?
Just depends on what you're selling. You know, that coffee right there, you know, $1, $2, now
Right,
$3, down
yeah.
$4.
So when you're doing the big sales,
Yeah.
by hundreds or 50s,
When you get into the big sales, I mean, you have a pretty good idea.
right?
You know, a couple of years ago, I sold a bull for 900,000, and we had a pretty good idea where we were going to go.
That's impressive.
What'd you
know.
start at?
What did that
I actually had
semen of gold?
I had a bid in my pocket for 100,000. I mean, guy called me and said, "I'll give you 100." And I said, "Okay, I'll get you a
For-
number."
2 nuts.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
But there's a lot of loads in those nuts.
There's a lot of loads.
It's going to take more than 2 nuts to pay for me.
Yes. With bulls like that, they must do all like artificial insemination, right? And
Right,
stuff. Yeah,
right,
so they
right,
don't.
You know, like here the other day, 2 weeks ago, I sell a red Angus bull for 217,000. You know, and so I kind of knew.
Must be a fun paycheck.
Let me say, like when we started out, you know, we had a pretty good idea this bull's going to bring 100,000. Okay, so and part of being in this business is knowing what you're selling, and it's any auction business, and I mean it doesn't matter what business you're in, but when you're in marketing, I mean you have to know what you have. I mean you don't want to sell this rare antique over here for $25 and it's worth $2 million. Mm-hmm. You know that's your job, no value, and so when you get into those kind of deals, I mean you're taking $2,500 or $5,000 whacks.
If you're not investing well and you're spending all your money on coffee, a good place to go is Jolton Joe's. Get your cup of Java to get through the day.
And if you've already spent, if you already spent all your money and need to save more money, get a bar of soap. Don't use the gel.
Nope. Get a bar.
Matt,
Wild ass soap.
wild ass soap and the deodorant.
you
We should
smell
have got you
good?
some deodorant.
Probably should have.
We should have. I'm not saying you smell, but their stuff is good.
You're not as close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And El Porto, thank you, because you are the sponsor of a champion of one team
And
at
a
least.
second place person. I don't know who that
Your El Porto giggles came out and we did our job.
Yeah,
and
huge
we won
thank you to
12
all
and
of
0.
them.
Yep. Thanks, sponsors. We love you.
Okay, back to Matt.
And back to
Here I am.
Yeah, here you are. So when you won the Triple Crown, what was the last thing that you sold? Like what do you remember? Like
I was in Sioux Falls Regional, and there's been other contests that I could have entered, but when you win the World Livestock Auctioneer Contest, it's kind of like winning the Super Bowl and retiring. And
but like, do you remember like the last thing that came out of your mouth when you like that was good?
yeah, I was a draft of heifers in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Can you like relive that moment for us?
When I left home for that contest, Mom asked me, so understand this, you draw for order. So there's 31 auctioneers. You draw for order. Number 1 is the kiss of death. It's the death number.
Why? I don't
Because
even
you're
like
average.
that.
You're average.
Yeah.
When you're in a judge competition, you're average.
Yep. For anything.
For
Number one. Yeah.
anything.
So you were the kiss of death?
I was the kiss of death. Mom asked me, she said, "Hey, what do you think you're going to draw?" I said, "Number 1." She goes, "Why is that?" I said, "Because I've never drawn it." And I said, I just know
it.
that I just
I'm a
feel
big fan
like
of
that
this.
they're going to try to stack the deck against me. And I said, it ain't going to happen. And I left the house that day mentally knowing that
You
I
were
was going to
getting it.
win that. There
That's
was
what I'm talking about.
nothing.
It's a
There was
Rocky Balboa in the background.
Yes.
there was nothing that was going to stop me. And so I drew number 1 in the semifinals. I drew number 10 in the finals. And I mean, it was to draw number 10 in the finals. I knew it was there. Now, after the fact, I realized, I didn't know it. Not only was I number 1, but I was leading it going into the finals, and everything just worked.
Wow.
But you had no idea. But it was just a mental thing,
So how did you take that with 1? You knew anyway. So you're just like,
I'm winning.
You're gonna pin me in the corner. Here we come, and beat me.
Wow.
Yes.
Beat me. And it was funny. I had a bull sale in South Dakota this week, and anyway, the guy I was selling for, he says, I remember. He said, you actually sat behind me, and in that contest, he said, I was pretty young, but he says, I remember that, and you came up and sat down, and the guy said, were you nervous? And he said, your response was, I don't get nervous anymore. And he said, I thought he was just being arrogant, and then he wins the contest. I'll be dang. But a long time ago, there's an auctioneer from Iowa, and you talk about people I respect, and I always looked up to him, and his name was Phil Schooley from Bloomfield, Iowa, and I always got to work. And this was early in my career. You would do anything for work, and I would go to Pitzer's and I would work the ring, and anyway. Phil Schooley sold that sale, and I had a ton of respect for him. And Phil, I think, had only entered the contest 3 times. He'd done no worse than third, no better than second. I mean, he places every time, but the guy has a recipe for just success. And I asked him one day, and he said, well, I'm going to tell you something. He said, don't do no good getting nervous. He said, just sit in there and go. And this guy has a voice. He had the most amazing voice, and he'd just sit in there and go. And it was just unbelievable. And I remember that. I remember Phil always saying, it just doesn't do any good to get nervous. And I would just put it in my head long enough, it works.
I like it. Wow. Yeah, I'm just thinking when he was talking about that, if you had Matt Lowry, Chad Evans, Justin Harris all in the same room.
Oh yeah. The voice of, yeah.
I'm like, shit would get accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be.
Rome was not built in a day, but I wasn't the boss either.
Well, speaking of quote number 2.
When you decided you weren't going back, like, was there somebody that pushed you to auctioneer school? Or like, was that like, you know what, I'm going to try this? Or like, what?
Good question. Yeah.
Well, actually, Paul invited me over as the reigning world champion. And so I went over there, and it's not that I ever taught before that, but it was just something that just clicked.
Wait, so Paul invited you to school?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
To teach.
No.
Yeah.
He invited me to school to teach a session, but it worked so well for whatever reason. I just resonated with people.
But you were
No. Like when you back
Yeah, when you
before
first
you were
decided.
18-year-old. Why did you go?
Yeah.
Because like that's usually, and my brothers also quit college too, but they ended up having to go back.
Oh, well, I did not do the go back thing.
Right. So like what, you like went home and mom's like, you better figure out what to do. Or,
well, we had that conversation.
so like who was the one that pushed you? Like maybe
I think I was like 18 years old, and
Yeah.
we shared a beer over that conversation. That's
You
how
and
tense.
your mom, or
yes,
you and my
yes.
dad?
No, me and my mom. I mean, that's how tense that conversation was.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I just knew college wasn't for me. And, and I suppose everybody at about 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, we're just kind of lost, and we're out there and we have no direction. We don't know what we're going to do. We got big decisions. We got the rest of our lives ahead of us. And what are we going to do? Well, I'd always kind of played with this auction deal, and it dates back even further when I was a little kid. And the guy told me the story after I won the contest because he called me up and he said, I remember you were about 3 or 4. And he said, I asked you what you were going to be when you grow up. And you said, you looked at me right straight in the eye and said, I'm going to be an auctioneer. I'm like, well, I don't remember it, but that was the story.
That's a good story.
So that was kind of a neat deal. And then, and I just always played with it, and I always did it, and I always did it, and I always did it. And then, so I decided to be a college dropout and go to Mason City, Iowa, and attend auction school. And that's what I did. And then, I kind of look at auction school. Yeah, they give you the tools for about 7 days, but it takes about 5 years. It's about like going to college. It takes about 5 years of
grinding
and getting beat up and, and emotionally hammered every other day because, you call this guy, hey, I'd be glad to work for you, and I found out in this business, it's easier to get a job in this auction industry if you say, hey, is there anything I can do to help? And you just work harder than everyone else.
Right.
And perk their interest. What's the deal with this guy?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, then they let them ask the question. And if they ask the question, you got a job.
Wow. That's so good. Because that's I think sometimes what we're missing now is somebody who's just willing to do whatever they can do, get in the door, work at it.
I did some ugly stuff. I mean,
I would like to know.
Well, it's a family show, so let's just move on.
I'm listening.
Or go ahead.
boy, that took a left turn.
I'm looking at
As it does with us.
I worked, I worked for over a year. I just drove to a barn to work. There was a world champion there, and I wanted to be as much like him as I possibly could. It wasn't that I was trying to mimic anything that he was doing. I was just, what do you have? You have what I want. And in order for me to get what I want, I need this. So
Well, I think that's something about being like really good at something is being willing to share it. Like, I think if you have a gift and there's something you're really good at, part of that responsibility is to help others be better at it as well. It's not for you to just carry, in my opinion, but everybody's different. So that's awesome.
no, and I agree with that. And I mean, daily I'm helping somebody all the time,
that's
but
what
I'm
it's about.
never worried about me, because if one of my students beat me or become better than me,
that's what
or
it's
take
the ultimate.
my job, you know
Yes.
what? They probably deserved it because I wasn't doing something right.
Or it's the ultimate compliment that you were part of like helping them get to that point. Like, I think we should all want someone to hopefully achieve something better than we have, because hopefully we are giving them more opportunity with sharing our skill to get them there.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
I'm going to play a video, Matt. I want you to tell me if this is you or not. So hold on. I hope it'd be really awkward if it wasn't. Hold on. Volume. Why? Why is there no sound?
Probably is not me.
No, stop. It was on mute. Okay.
Yep.
That's you? Mm-hmm. So that's a video of my dad. Tripp would always want to go to my dad and listen to auctioneer videos when he was littler. Oh. And so that's my dad and Tripp listening to videos.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
Tripp
said,
thought it
Trip,
was so
can
cool.
you use your brother's money at some point? Trip,
Tripp.
Pop still got money at school.
Yeah, by then we'll probably have different owners and all sorts of stuff. This has been interesting.
Do you want to work on your auction chant again?
I do feel
I'm
like
going
you
to
should.
practice that in my alone time
Oh, okay.
because I feel like I need to get on key.
I think you need to take a
And-
driving class first before you work on this. Make
Did you
sure
see how I parked perfectly in between the lines? Nobody else was around.
it was illegal.
I
got it on Snapchat. I even sent it to your husband.
The worst, it's those freaking license plates too. They get me every time.
Yeah, you got to get rid of those.
I know.
Yeah.
My mom and dad have them. I'm like, that's just the thing to do.
Yeah, I'm a librarian. I can't afford the extra fluff. It's just I get stock.
It's cheaper in Frontier County when there's only like 20 people that live there. They're like, we'll just give these to you. So we know people actually live in this county.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you? Well, are we getting? To,
I don't know.
are
I
we-
feel like we have like 5 more good questions. Let's do it.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh well.
I don't know. Do we? Yeah, go.
You rented me all day.
Right.
Oh.
Hey, yeah.
Is there anything in here we could sell? Make a little money
I
for
know.
our show?
Let's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like you should sell something completely.
Yeah. Anyway. Enough dead air. Go
What
ahead.
about that baker guy?
No, we're not selling that.
No?
Yeah.
No?
I don't know.
I would like you to sell something. You pick.
You really want me to sell something?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you. You can just do big imagination. Since I'm on the way to Pritchett, Colorado,
Okay.
to go sell a bull sale, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
Oh, good. Nice.
So,
Okay.
so all right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
This
are
is
you
the start.
ready?
This is
Yes.
okay. I'm ready.
Ready.
Sitting down.
Do we need to record this, or I mean?
I'm recording.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, turn to lot number 1. Here is the SAV governor. And now 2, and now 5 for 225, and now 3, and now 5 for 235, now 4, down 5 for 245, and now 5, and now 5,000, now 55 out of here, down 6,000 out of here, down 5, and now 5. Show him the door. Down 5, now 7,000, and now 5, and now 8,000 down 5 for down 85, and now 9,000 here down 9,000, 8,500, 9,000 y'all done hold through, and now 9, and now 85 down 9,000, and I had sold them at 8,500. Put them on buyer number 253, 253.
Not bad. I mean, I
What
feel
did
like
it
you
mean when you
practiced a
said
few
show
times.
him the door? You said
That may okay. So
Open the gate. We talked about this in church today.
yes.
yeah, and so like cattle are in the ring, you know, and so when I say show him the door, that means the outdoor.
I like it.
So he's in, he's out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, wow.
It's impressive. impressive.
I can't even think after that.
There is all kinds of auctioneer slang that is just rampant in my brain.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like, like announcers that announce fights, and what do they trademark? Their like
Their voice.
lingo?
yes.
Yeah.
Do auctioneers do that, or certain thing that they say that nobody else can say?
It's such a small industry.
Okay.
That we all trade, back and forth. And,
Okay.
there are some things that are, are trade. I won't say this is so-and-so saying, or this is so-and-so saying, but we're all a little bit different, but we're all a little bit the same.
Right. Okay.
I feel like I'm an auctioneer snob. I've been surrounded by good ones. So if I ever hear a bad one, I'm like
me at my family Thanksgiving.
Here's an interesting fun fact. Nebraska has more world champion
one of them lives in this town.
than anywhere else. And actually at one time there was two of them, but
Really?
our good friend Roger Emick passed away a few years ago. But yeah, Roger and Joe both.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
So, yeah, because remember when you were talking to Jody and I'm like, she's like, who are you going to have on? I was like, I don't know, we're going to have this like world champion auctioneer on, got it. And she's like, oh, well, Joe's also a world champion auctioneer. I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Which I'm also really confused about McCook that they have must have had 2 livestock auctions at one time.
Right, at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm like, why?
And then one north of
Question
town is
mark.
now a implement dealership.
Yeah, so I'm
which
like-
saddens me.
Because that one
but,
looked like it was huge.
at one time, yeah. And it was a nice barn. It was a very nice barn.
I mean, I know when my parents bought the one in North Platte, it was like child slave labor laws hadn't taken place yet. And so my siblings, they always talk about the paint in their eyes from having to paint all the wooden panels. And
Oh, here we go.
I didn't have to do that. I was the baby.
Of course. Add that to the list of things you didn't have to do as the baby.
There's many thoughts that go through my head as you tell that story.
Which one?
And never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so like phone numbers memorized. I know my parents' home phone number and I know the North Platte Livestock
Oh, that's hilarious.
Auctioneer
Yeah.
house.
Do you know Dewey's cell phone number?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
I defended his honor in a bathroom wall here the other day.
That was nice.
Poor thing. Poor dad.
Everybody knows his phone number.
Everybody knows my dad.
Oh, that's funny.
We should call my dad and see if he has anything nice to say about Matt.
No, probably not.
Let's see. Let's just see if he answers because he's always fun to talk to on a Sunday morning. I know he's not at church.
Unless I ask him about his kids, and then he's like, I'm not touching that one.
Oh my gosh, let's do this. You can't talk, Matt.
No, I'm plumb fine.
No speaking.
Haley?
Dad, what are you
Hi.
doing?
Well, I take a little nap before I went to play cards.
Oh, it is Sunday. Hey, I have Lena with me. Do you have 5 minutes?
But sure.
Do you have any good stories on Matt Lowery? Dad? Anything?
None of them that you can publish.
He said the same thing about you.
Good answer, Dewey.
And nothing that you can publish. Uh-huh. Where did you find Matt Lowry?
Oh my goodness. He is in McCook, Nebraska today.
Yep.
He is.
Yep.
Where's his sale tomorrow?
In Pritchett, Colorado.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yep.
I'll be darned. Well, you guys have a good time.
Okay. All right. Good luck at cards.
See ya.
Bye.
That's what I want my Sundays to be like.
Did
I
you
just got a
expect
nap.
that phone call to be any different?
No, I didn't.
Than that?
No, nothing.
I wasn't really worried about it
Yeah.
because
He's not going to say
No.
anything.
He's
Yeah.
post nap too. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
A
blood
Sunday
sugar's
is
probably a little
literally
low. Yeah.
card day. Like
I want that.
What do you mean Sunday is card day? Every day is card day with Dewey.
Sunday
believe it.
afternoons, he's done.
Well, it's heavier card day.
It's
Like,
yeah.
where does
Yeah,
he go to play cards?
I don't know. They have like a little
Anywhere.
mafia that they go and do that. It's like
Oh.
10. You have to have an invite only.
Speaking of cults,
Yeah, that's exactly.
yeah, the only time Dewey will go to O'Neill and he will call me
And that's
when
like where
he
we're-
is at Mahoney's.
Oh.
And then it's like 9 against 1 and they take all your money and then they send you home.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. It's
That's
invite
nice.
only.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, I believe it. That sounds.
And whoever wins has to buy lunch or something, always like, or dinner or wherever it is.
Every time I'm there, that we ain't playing for quarters now.
Oh no, it's not quarters. No, but like
I probably could
so, and that they switch it with this man group that maybe this is illegal. I don't know, but so like there's like 8 of them, and if it's hosted at your house, like if it's at my parents' house, grandkids are not allowed.
Okay, that's
Period. Like,
Yeah,
and if
okay.
they are there, they're not to be seen or heard.
Got it.
So they have to be downstairs in the dungeon.
Got it
the whole time.
That sounds fair. If I'm playing cards, I don't want to be interrupted either. So I get that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
While they're firing off Winchesters downstairs.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
Makes
that.
sense. Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, this has been fun,
This
Matt.
has. I learned a lot.
Okay, if you were supposed to like give us some people that would be really interesting to have on here, who would you say?
Paul Bear is like, and we talked about Paul earlier, and Paul actually lives in Denver, but Paul is an interesting man. Really, really neat people. Really neat people.
That's what we want.
That's what we want.
And I mean,
What about somebody not in the auctioneer world that you're like, this person, they know what they're doing with their life?
what about Dewey?
The guy that we were just on the phone with.
You could do a whole show on him if you would buy his lunch every day for the rest of his life.
We can't. We're not quite there yet financially.
Yeah. You know, speaking of, I'm reading this book by Steve Siebold, and I'm like, every chapter, I'm like, God, this is my dad. Like one of it's like, if you think you have to work harder to become richer, you're not doing it right.
Oh,
And like, I feel like my dad, I've never seen like my dad put in like a full
my dad has said that for forever.
12 days of work.
Yep.
Now, that's not what he tells you on the telephone.
No.
We all know how he operates, but we know what goes on. But
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, there was a time there, my dad owned businesses I had no idea about.
That's incredible. Good job, Dewey.
He would call me and ask me for commission on cows he didn't even buy or sell.
I don't know what's wrong with that. Just guy trying to make a buck.
Yeah. He put the middleman out there probably or something.
It was like a sign in the middle of the yard that part of these are mine,
Yeah.
even though they weren't. Yeah.
He's
Oh,
great.
Dewey.
Okay. Who else? Not my dad. He does have wise words though.
Which direction do you want to head?
I don't know. Just somebody that you'd be like, I would kind of be interested. I would listen to this
Broaden our
podcast.
horizons. Yeah.
I don't even listen to my own podcast.
I know. You'd
That's
like
how-
silence in your
how
own
bad-
voice.
That's how bad it is. Huh. I'd have to think about it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have
You
my
know,
number.
to say this one person, you know, this is the most interesting human being I've ever been around, or we need more of this, you know?
He'd say he's probably thinking that about us right
Well, they're right in the room. Yeah. He's probably
That's
like,
understandable.
Well, yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Can you feel the energy just
Yes.
ooze
Yes.
out of my
Yep.
pores?
Literally
Yes.
the word I was using. Oozing. Yep.
Apple cider
Before
vinegar.
we forget,
oozing.
because we want to make sure we're doing this, we've started being, grateful at the end
Yes.
of our podcast.
We do have a few questions for you
Yes.
at the end.
So,
Yeah.
as we're beginning to wrap up,
Yeah.
who's somebody you are grateful for?
And you might have multiple, but just today.
Yep. You only get
One person.
You know, in all honesty, I think that this has to start with family, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without the love and support of them. Okay. And it's not just one, it's all of them. And, and then I'm going to go one step further, just the community. I mean, I had a lot of support with the community. I mean, in Burwell, and a lot of people believed in me, or a lot of people were really proud of what I did and what I've accomplished in my life. And to say that I've had some success, yes, but it wasn't all just me, and so you have to look at life and say there's a lot of stepping stones. There's a lot of people. It's not just one. This person was integral about this. This person was integral about this. This person eared me down and said, "Hey, you need to rethink this." There was all kinds of people. You can't just say one person in my life made me who I am. I believe that it was because of the work ethic and the determination to do what I wanted to do in life. But there was all of these other parts and pieces that were so important. And then when you combine the two, I won't say an end product because it's not over, but it's got me to where I am today.
Very good.
About you?
Oh, jumping right in. Probably my other friend, Michelle. You know, I said I had two friends, Michelle, growing up, and I was grateful for the other one. But my other Michelle Schmidt, she's the marathon runner, the crazy workout person, and we've been friends for forever. And I think in teaching my kids the value of love and friendship, it's nice having those that I've had for 30 plus years, 40 plus years now, I guess. But yeah.
I'm going to go with my in-laws because recently we were just gone for 4 days.
Yep.
And they
did it all.
They pretty much moved into our house and took care of everything.
Yep.
And
they had to hang out with me.
Well, and it's different because this is their first set of grandparents. Unlike my parents, they've already been there, done that. And
you mean it's their first set of grandkids?
First set of grandkids,
okay,
yeah.
Yep, okay.
And so, I mean, they are all about like Trip and Letty and like their love for riding and everything. So like they rode with the kids every day. They brought their horses so they could ride with the kids.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I mean, like they have more horses bought for my kids than we bought
beautiful.
for our horses or kids. I mean,
Yeah.
So probably my in-laws.
That's sweet.
They make
Speaking of
life
that,
easy.
did you get a new pair of pants?
Oh, yes.
I
Slam dunk. Hoop to hoop. Matt is a baller. That is amazing.
forgot. I've never seen the Snapchat from Clay's side.
Somebody.
Do tell more.
Listeners, somebody split her pants riding horses with her big old badootie.
I wasn't
facing the
riding
endless-
a horse
You were-
yet. That's
weren't
what
you
makes
trying
it
to get
worse.
on,
I was
right?
I was hanging on the side as if I was going to be riding
Trick riding.
Miss Congeniality at the NFR, and from the top all the way down to the bottom of the tea kettle. I mean,
Hello, Moon.
it's horrible.
You notice I timed it towards the
That
end.
was
good.
So all of a sudden,
Yeah. So when our listeners start dropping off.
like my pants did, pretty much. Yeah.
no, they didn't drop off. They
No,
split.
they just split. Yeah.
Golly.
Gosh.
That's not embarrassing. Oh, and the best part was no Rudies. Someone wasn't wearing any underoos that day.
Hello, Kitty.
Gosh. Someone hadn't done their laundry. God, that laundry piling up just gets you.
It's not, I don't know. My ass
Anyway.
has gotten bigger. That's what happens when you have kids.
Well, it's the dryer.
Yeah.
It's the dryer on
it's the
jeans. That
dryer.
dang dryer. Matt, are you reading anything currently?
Yeah. Reading, listening,
No.
watching.
Listening, watching, yeah.
Actually, I've got. I'll listen to some stuff every once in a while. I was, in fact, on the way down, I was listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad again.
Who?
What?
Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta listen to this.
The guy's amazing. It's a neat story.
Podcast? Book?
I just downloaded it.
Like the tape? It's a podcast.
No, it's an audio.
So
I think
not-
it's a book.
It's a book. Okay.
Yeah, it's a book.
Okay.
It's a book.
That's all I was asking.
Stop trying to be
I
tricky.
don't listen to a lot. Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Good though.
Yeah. And I think it was, I'm not sure, but I think it was number one seller.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I think so.
I'll have
We
to
need
find
crawl
the
out
like
from under
manuscript version.
The hole we're living in.
And a little bit of it's got to do with finances and stuff like that. But it talked about his childhood and the things that he did to get him where he's at
I think I'm
today.
gonna like it.
Sounds like right up our alley.
Yeah. Are you watching anything? Do you watch TV?
No, not usually.
Oh, look at
I
you.
mean, I'm a kind of a Discovery Channel kind of guy.
Oh, got you.
And other than that, the whole watch TV thing is not my deal.
See, we have been watching. We always pick like a family show to watch with the kids, where we feel like we can learn something. So we picked this like Shark, kind of like it's a Discovery thing. It's the guy who's Thor. Yeah,
I had watched that too.
Hemsworth. What's his name? I don't know. Yeah,
Heaven.
So he has to put on a bodysuit, and all of a sudden, everybody is giggling except Jake. Like the girls, I mean, because he's just ripped. And I
He's
was like,
beautiful,
I think we
yes.
need to change the channel. Yeah, it was. I was like, what I think we should be learning is not what we are learning, but it was hilarious. Jake's like, why is everyone laughing?
Lena is
that's their-
all girls and her husband.
11, 10, and 9.
Yeah.
And they're just starting to notice
Men.
boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's ripped. And they were like, I mean, red faced and just like snickering. And then they go under their pillows and I'm dying on the inside. And Jake is just instantly pissed.
Trip is at that point now. Like he doesn't like movies or TVs. He wants YouTube, like educational things.
Oh,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
he can like probably put in a pond in my backyard. That's what he's been watching.
nice.
I've learned more on TikTok in the last year than I
gosh.
learned in the entire time
I'm
I was in
telling you,
high school.
TikTok has sucked me into
So
some
you know
stuff.
what an 8th grader said to me the other day at St. Pat's? He came into the library and he goes, you know what's happened? And I said, what? He's very intelligent. He's very intense. And he goes, TikTok has ruined my ability to learn for the long haul. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, if I can't learn it in less than 3 minutes, I'm no longer interested. And my mind was blown.
But in the very same hand, TikTok can be whatever you want it to be. There's a reason there's that search bar on the top.
It's true. It's
I mean,
true.
you can learn some pretty amazing things, and you can catch up on some stuff, and you can do some neat stuff if you let it be that
And maybe
way.
you're mature enough to handle it. And I think there is something to be said about, well, you're not, but let's just give you some credit.
Boy,
but
you-
for young kids,
he
I
said
know.
that search bar because he's looking at other things that he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because
But I
like
think for
Clay's
young
TikTok
kids-
compared to my TikTok is
Not even
completely
on
different.
TikTok. I'm just a good soul like that. Technology will ruin us all.
I'm not saying that there's that
There is
part
true,
of
though.
TikTok that we get some funny ha-has, but
Yeah.
But that TikTok too, like they can learn how to dance in 3 minutes.
I don't know. I just thought it was pretty profound. He's like, and it's really hard for me to watch a long YouTube like tutorial now because I want it to be done in 3 minutes. I want to learn it in 3. And I was like, yeah.
My dad's on TikTok.
Oh, sweet Dewey. Okay.
I got a couple of them from him yesterday.
I don't want to know.
Oh, God.
Don't want to know.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Should we call
Okay,
him and ask him about them?
Nope. What was our other, do you drink anything?
Oh, yeah. Your
Like
caffeine, of choice.
Oh, fresh tea.
Just plain tea?
Yeah, iced tea.
I've been
That's
on a
it.
tea kick.
Unsweet.
Yes.
I can't do.
I do like some good tea.
I've seen people do that. I've seen it done. I find it bizarre, but
Yeah.
Good tea.
Good tea.
and in fact, most of the time I just buy a gallon of water and then take cold brew tea
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
bags
yeah,
and
yeah.
just shove it in there, and it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
No coffee?
No, not a big coffee guy. I'll drink tea though.
Oh, tea is so good.
From the second I get up till the time I go to bed.
Do you have any bad habits?
Which one do you want?
Oh, God.
Name 2 of them.
Copenhagen,
Okay.
Amazon.
Yes. Yes. Oh, there's another. I feel like you have a few more that you need to
Equally-
get off your chest. Do you have
No,
any
no,
others?
no.
That's it.
I've spilled enough. That was
Okay.
just what was it? The
root.
pores. Yeah.
I learned
Right.
so much today.
I did too. So much. This
Yeah,
has been.
I'm going
this
to be
has
at
been
home
good.
going yibbity dibbity dibbity dibbity. I guess I did that
One
once.
chair, 2 chair. Wait,
No, one.
chair.
$1 now too.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
and throw your now in there, and then take out the gate or something.
I'll see if I can find those old cassette tapes we had at my house. Putting all the
Oh,
ranch
you-
trucks.
Yeah, you got the old, the prehistoric ones that come from World
Because
Life.
Cole would listen to them all the time.
Yeah.
That or learning how to speak Spanish.
Yeah, like the big brown bug bit of big brown
Yes,
bear.
yes.
You know, the tongue twisters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you do those?
Yeah, the big brown bug bit of big brown bear. Big brown bug bit of big brown bear. Yeah.
Go, Haley.
That's
Go
what I
ahead,
sound
try
like.
it.
Yeah, do Betty Water.
No.
Yeah.
No, Betty bought a.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So she put a bit of butter, put it in her bitter batter, made her bitter batter better.
Go ahead.
Touche.
And that's a
Repeat.
wrap.
That was good. All right. Well, thank you, Matt, for joining us today.
Yeah, this was good. This was
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Maybe you can come back another time.
Absolutely. We'll
We
do
can
it.
ask him other questions.
I'm just shocked daily at Haley's lineage. There's just some good eggs out there.
It's scary.
Yeah,
It's tough.
it is. Not everybody's got that.
Yeah. Living in a family of champions. And then there's me.
And there's second place in co-ed or in women's
League
competitive
volleyball.
league. Yep.
All
Sorry,
right.
fam.
Well, thank you, everybody, listening for another episode of Coaching, Caffeine, and Comedy. And I'm your host, Hayley Kobza.
And I'm Lena.
Oh, I don't have any music yet. So we're going to have to just like hang out
my
for a little
gosh.
bit. Or maybe you could just like,
Thought you were doing Rocky.
could you just like do some auctioneer stuff and we'll just end it like that?
No, really.
Yeah.
let's
So just like go and then I'm just going to like fade you out.
And now 50, 500, dollar here, down 6,000, dollar here, down 5, for down 7,000, dollar down 5. And now 8 here, down 5, for down 9,000, 9,500, 10,000, here, down 10, 5, 11,000, dollar there. And now 5, and now 12, and now 5, and now 13,000, dollar here, down 500, dollar here, down 13, 5.